So Trump is going to bail out Argentina? Malay, the big libertarian Bitcoiner, is now going to need American bailout money? Oh boy. Hi, my name is Graham Elwood. You're watching the Bitcoin Vigilante. Oh boy, it's really when Malay came to power, I was living in El Salvador, and a lot of Bitcoiners were like, awesome, he's a pro-Bitcoin president. And I was like, okay, let's see. And then it was like, oh, he's this big libertarian. And I'm like, and then I was like, oh, he's pro-Israel. He's compromised. If you get money from AIPAC, you're compromised. It's like if you get money from the big banks, you're compromised. If you get money from big pharma, you're compromised. If you get money from the military industrial complex, you're compromised. If you get money from the big tech companies, you're compromised. So yes, I'm a Bitcoiner. This is a pro-Bitcoin show, but some Bitcoiners just get blinded by that. You have to look at the whole picture, the whole person. You know, Trump, the tariffs thing is not helping Americans. What about America first? I thought it was America first. Nah, it turns out it's America third or maybe fourth. I don't know. We've got Ukraine, we've got Israel, we've got Argentina now. So what is America, fourth or fifth? I can't keep track. I thought we were first, but we're not. So this is from the Financial Times. I follow them on Twitter. And they're not a bad organization. They just talk money news. With political and economic missteps sparking panic in Argentina's markets, the South American nation is once again on the brink, and the Trump administration is preparing to bail out its ideological ally. How Argentina's Milei lost the markets and turned to Trump. So this is the full article, but I mean, wow. Where is America first? Where is America first? I don't see it. You know, I don't see it. Like, this is unbelievable. Oh, now they just want you to go to the Financial Times. I thought that was the article, but so what's fascinating is if you see in the comments below this was on Twitter. So the Financial Times, and then they put, this is everything, every part of Argentina that's for sale. And then this one here, I don't know these accounts, but the Trump administration will make the same mistake it made in 2018 when it forced the IMF to grant a political loan of $56 billion, of which only 47 actually was issued. In April this year, the IMF, under pressure again from Trump administration, gathers, these are these quotes here. The Telegraph, U.S. ready to bail out Malay's Argentina, says the White House. Now, this is the most interesting one here. These are the countries most in debt to the IMF. There's Argentina at the top. There's Egypt, Ukraine. I mean, there's a lot of countries. And so this says two things. One, Trump is not America first. You know, every city in America has a bad homeless problem. LA, I live in LA. It's really bad. Mayor Karen Bass has tried to clean up a little bit of it. I've seen a couple of encampments get cleaned up, but it's still a major, major problem, right? Then we've just got the daily cost of living, which has been going up pretty steady since COVID, when they started printing money. And, you know, my car insurance was $140 a month and it went to $240 a month for an electric Chevy. I mean, the cost of everything keeps going up. And yet, you know, we have a for-profit healthcare system. The number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical debt. And every time, you know, somebody like Bernie Sanders or whoever says we need Medicare for all, it's always like, how are you going to pay for it? The same way we pay for all this. We're just going to bail out Argentina. We're just sending, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel. Why can't we just, if we're going to just print money, why can't we just print it for good things? Think about the $3.5 trillion we wasted for 20 years in Afghanistan. Think about the $10 trillion we've spent on the global war on terror. Think about the $1.5 trillion that was wasted just to develop the F-35 bomber. What are you talking about? For one, student debt forgiveness is 1.5 trillion. So why don't we just forgive all the student loans? What would that do? What if everyone had free healthcare? Why didn't Joe Biden, when he was president of the United States, when he was sworn into office in January of 2021, we were in a national emergency. COVID had been going on for less than a year. The president, when there's a national emergency, is granted broad powers. Why didn't Joe Biden just do what a small town in North Dakota did? Which is they had a I think it was some kind of toxic spill. I forget. I remember I covered the story, but there was a city, I believe in North Dakota, and they had some sort of thing, and there was a health event. The whole city was affected by it, and everybody got free healthcare. Why didn't Joe Biden just say everybody gets free healthcare during COVID? Even if he stepped down, Harris wouldn't have lost, because she would have just said, look, if Trump gets elected, he's going to take away your healthcare. That would have been it. Everyone would have said, okay, I don't want to lose my healthcare. And so this is what happens when you bail countries out. And this is why I used to be a libertarian. I'll be very honest with you. I voted libertarian in 1996. I voted for the libertarian after 4 years of Bill Clinton. I was like, nope. And then I realized that there's some stuff with the libertarians. I appreciate them in the fact that they're out of the two-party system, and they made a choice. They didn't just say, well, my parents were libertarian, so I'm a libertarian. But the problem with libertarian is it doesn't address so many issues, and they want to privatize everything. And libertarians, I think, ultimately are very optimistic that all humans are going to do the right thing, and the ones that don't, the free market will correct it, and that just doesn't work. And so you need a certain type of government. You don't need a corrupt government. You need good governance. The Greeks invented democracy. So Malay, I was very suspect of this guy a year ago, very suspect of this guy. And just because he's Bitcoin doesn't mean he's great. In the same way that people who don't like Trump just go, oh, well, Trump likes Bitcoin, so Bitcoin's bad. I hate Bitcoin. Like, it's the same sort of leaps in logic that don't make any sense. If you're going to be a Bitcoiner, don't trust, verify. That's a thing we say in Bitcoin. Don't trust, verify. Just because a leader is pro-Bitcoin, okay, Trump, he's pro-Bitcoin, but he also has a meme coin, which is if you're a Bitcoiner, you know that those are scam coins. We call them shit coins. Come on. He said the Epstein file was empty. Oh, it's empty now. He ran on the campaign, I'm going to expose all these people. In February, Pam Bondi said, I have the files on my desk. And then July 7th, nope, the files are empty, and we're all just supposed to go back to sleep. Jimmy Kimmel, the National Guard in DC, these are all distractions from Epstein. But the IMF, remember now, the IMF, when Julian Assange was in the Ecuadorian prison, the IMF said, hey, Ecuador, we'll give you $500 million loan, but you got to give up Julian Assange. And guess what Ecuador did? So, America fourth. Yay! Remember now, we're number 13 in infrastructure. We're 13th in infrastructure in the world. In the developed Western world, we're 13th in infrastructure. And I can tell you, I've been to Singapore. The infrastructure there is it's amazing. It is the cleanest, safest, most efficient city on planet Earth. And every American city could be like Singapore if we stopped spending money on all these foreign countries who mismanage their money and all these wars and all these Wall Street bailouts. America, every city could just be clean, safe. Everyone's got a job. Everyone's got a place to live. There's affordable housing everywhere. We all have healthcare. Public colleges are free. We could have all that stuff. I'd gladly pay taxes for that. I don't want to pay taxes now because it's just going to go to some war. Why am I, as an American, giving money to Argentina, Israel, or Ukraine when I drive down the street and I see people living in tents? Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Shave your knuckles for justice. Support our show any way you can with Bitcoin right there. That's on chain. There's ways to support here. Keep supporting what we're doing. We've been censored. We were the canary, me and Lee Camp and other comedians, Ron Placone, Dave Anthony. We were all of us progressive lefty comics that have been censored. We were the canary in the coal mine, not Jimmy Kimmel. And he's back on the air because Disney is a business that was facing public pressure. So support what we're doing, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Follow the Money Connected Dots, get the truth, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.